islomni bugun haqiqiy mohiyati eng avvalo insoniy munosabatlar. Zero Alloh taolo Qur'oni Karimda biz insonni bir erkak va bir ayoldan yaratdik. Aslimiz Odam ato Mama Havo onamizdan tarqaganlaringizga bu ishorat bo'lyapti.
Nearly a decade ago, addressing the United Nations General Assembly, Uzbekistan's President Shavkat Mirziyoyev proposed creating a center in Tashkent dedicated to preserving and studying the intellectual heritage of the Islamic world. He presented education and religious tolerance as tools against extremism. Today, that vision has grown beyond a single institution. More than 450 scholars, religious leaders, researchers, and policymakers from over 50 countries gathered for the first International Forum of Islamic Civilization. Events were held in Tashkent, Samarkand, and Termez. The first International Forum of Islamic Civilization wasn't simply about looking back at history. It explored how Islamic scholarship is understood today, how it is passed on to future generations, and why those conversations matter at a time of growing global tensions and religious intolerance. In a message read at the opening of the forum, President Mirziyoyev emphasized the role of education, scientific research, and international cooperation in confronting extremism, religious intolerance, and Islamophobia. The address cited scholars including Al-Khwarizmi, Abu Rayhan Biruni, Ibn Sina, and Mirza Ulugh as evidence of Islamic civilization's contribution to scientific discovery and intellectual progress. The forum resulted in the Tashkent Declaration and the roadmap for 2027-2030, setting out cooperation in research, education, manuscript preservation, and digital access. New partnerships were also announced between universities, museums, and research institutions, covering joint studies, the conservation of historical material, and the digitization of collections.
Toma ko'l bo'ri degan bir fikr bor. Bu narsa albatta bir marta, ikki martada ko'zda tutilgan natijani bermasligi mumkin, lekin albatta bu jarayonni muntazam ravishda davom etishi albatta ma'lum darajada muayyan bir muammolarni hal etilishda katta o'rin tutadi.
Behind those agreements was a wider debate about how Islam is represented and understood. Participants argued that centuries of intellectual and scientific achievements are often absent from contemporary perceptions of the religion.
Ajoyib bir fikrni aytib o'tish kerak bo'ladi. Ya'ni albatta O'zbekiston Respublikasi prezidenti tashabbusi bilan qurilgan Islom sivilizatsiyasi markazi bu hozirgi kunda islomga qaratilayotgan, dinimizga qaratilayotgan turli xil o'rinsiz fikr, mulohazalar, turli xil bo'xtonlar, ayblovlarga qarata berilgan o'ziga xos javob bo'ldi.
That debate extended beyond Central Asia. Speakers examined Islam's historical presence in Europe and challenged the idea that it developed separately from the continent's cultural and intellectual history.
One of the misconceptions is that Europe defines itself as something without Islam. And I think from my point of view and also from history that the Islam is one of the roots of Europe. Not the only one, but one of the roots. And in the same time as Christianity, as Judaism, also Islam took place in Europe. It was in the same time in the early Middle Ages.
The program moved beyond Tashkent to two other centers of Islamic scholarship. In Samarkand, participants examined the legacy of Imam al-Maturidi and plans for an innovation museum dedicated to his work. In Termez, sessions focused on Imam al-Tirmidhi and the expansion of international academic cooperation. The wider aim was to connect these centers of scholarship with the researchers and institutions in other countries, allowing knowledge, collections, and academic expertise to circulate beyond national borders.
There is nobody who can change the world, because changing the world means that you change other people. But what here happens is that it is an exchange of wisdom, an exchange of science, and getting more conscious of problems. And if this information will spread from countries to countries, of course, it can change things.
Organizers say the participating institutions will now continue their work through joint research and academic exchanges.